Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi. Welcome to this place where I talk about whatever I want, and I'm autistic, so we're all okay with it. But it is so what's up? I'm autistic, that's the gist of it. Things exist like me. What? I have opinions on things. My things today are only going to relate to about half of the population, maybe less. But I also I just gotta tell ya, because something absolutely gnarly has happened in my life and in my body. For the first time since maybe ever, I have officially blossomed into a woman. That's what they used to say in like Game of Thrones time. I got my period again. Some of you are like, yeah, that's what a uterus does. But that's not what mine does. That's not what mine did. That's not what mine wanted to do for 9 years. Almost 10 years. That's weird. Oh, I'm gonna start doing this. My videos. Have you noticed that things have drastically changed here? Yes. I realize that I sit here a lot, and so I might as well make it a spot where I want to film things, because I'm like sitting here doing work all the time, so I might as well get two birds stoned at once, make things easier for my autistic self and my autistic home, accommodate myself, do-do-do-do. But what I also want to do is start saying a little disclaimer at the beginning of every video that says, I am just one human person, and reminder that every autistic person is so different, and that's like the point. That's the whole point. You won't find two autistic people that agree with each other on everything. I can't find one autistic person who I agree with on everything. I can't find one autistic person that I can agree with multiple things on. Usually it's like one or two things, but everything else it's like, nah. Nope, I see things very strongly the opposite way for very different reasons, but that makes sense to me. And that makes sense to me. So don't be taking my word for everybody, you know? I know nothing, okay? I have to say that every time, or people get mad at me and say, you know that you're only one person? And I say, yes, I do. Thank you for reminding me, Brenda. So anyway, back to like the vibe. I put on my Macy blanket. Got Macy's facey on it. Facey of Macy. If you're uncomfortable with periods, with menstruation, with blood, with like whatever, grow up. You've got 5 liters of it in you right now. Look at you. You know how many 2-liter pop cans that is? 2.5. If you're someone who doesn't menstruate, if you're someone who doesn't have a uterus, and you're like, I don't respect that at all. There should be no disrespect for bodies and just naturally what they do or who they are. This isn't disgusting. This isn't gross. It always was supposed to be, but I'm like, why everyone does it? Not everyone, but like, you know, half of us do it, right? So like, why are we being grossy? Let's chit chat about it. I got my first period. It was like a week into grade 7. So I just turned 12. I was a really skinny kid too. Women in my family had been like not getting their period till they were like 16, 17, 18. Like, I didn't think I'd get a period for a while. And also, I had such bad stomach aches every day. Autism, PDA, autism, anxiety. And so when it was a period for the first time, I was like, man, this stomach ache feels feistier. And I had 2 girlfriends at the time who had already gotten their period. And they were like, ooh, bet it's your period. And I'm like, ooh, bet it's not. Better not be. Especially because my mom was on vacation at the time, and I knew nothing about periods. There's different stuff, I think. There's like some different plastic baggies of like different sizes of cotton squares. So, better not be my period, because then I'm going to have to ask my dad for help. And that's not happening. So I go home, and I'm such a cute little loser too, because it was my period. I got a period, and I remember sitting on the toilet and just crying. I don't know, so it wasn't my iPad, was it my iPod, my BlackBerry, in the bathroom. I'm texting my mother like, you will not believe this. I have gotten a period. You are far away. It is the nighttime. You cannot be of service. Nope, I cannot. Okay, what do? You need to call your father. Nope. And then she called my father, and my father rushed home, and I was still on the toilet because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm pretty sure I just like autistic froze. I just became autistically inert and was like, And my dad came up to the door and was like, Paigey. I'm like, hi dad. He's like, you okay? I'm like, I got a period. He's like, I know. What do I do? He goes, You hungry? I'll make you some food. So anyway, I figured out, how to do a pad, and then I put one on, and then I started freaking out because I'm autistic, right? And I'm like, there's blood in this underwear, and if I put a pad over top of the blood, like, obviously I'm gonna have to change my underwear still. And so then do I just use this same pad and put it on different underwear when I go into my room? Or like, do I change into a different pad because it's not gonna work and make sense, and it's gonna be a mess? And I just turned 12, and I just started my period, so I was not a happy girl, and it was awful. There was nothing about a period that was good at all. Periods were so painful. When I was 10, I got my appendix out because my appendix burst, which was kind of funny. Not funny, wasn't funny at all, wasn't cool, but my stomach hurt so bad. But my stomach always hurt as a kid, so my family was like, stop crying and whining and being a big baby. And I went to the hospital, and they're like, looks like you're constipated. And then they did a test thing, and they're like, whoa, appendix, get her going. And I was like, I knew my stomach hurt for a reason. I knew I wasn't gaslighting everybody. I knew I wasn't the boy who cried wolf. They're like, you're being a big baby. And I'm like, my appendix burst. It was not fun. I think this was the first time that my parents let me take Advil. We were not Advil Tylenol kids. If we got sick, my dad's like, good, go roll around in the dirt outside. Because that's what I did when I was growing up. Now my family's like, okay, if she's in pain, she's probably in pain. Because last time she said she was in pain, she had an infected organ. So perhaps, this is for real. And regardless of how much my pain would affect someone else, it was really, really painful to me. I actually don't think that I'm that sensitive to pain. Stomach aches, I had stomach aches every single day, multiple times a day. They hurt so bad. And I remember I didn't believe in God, but I would pray. I would think this is because I did something bad, or I thought something bad, or I'm a bad person, and this is like my payback, my karma. This is God smiting me. It wasn't. It was because of your anxiety, my dude. You're PDA autistic, not your fault. I would bleed for 10 days straight, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight. I think there's one time I bled for like a month and a half straight, and just painful the entire time. I couldn't sleep. I was an insomniac anyway at 12, but I'd go out into the living room and I'd try to sleep, and I would wake up like every 2 hours, just in so much pain, bleeding through everything, so much blood, man. But the worst thing, thinking about a pad being there. Wetness, just blood, and like just sitting in it. Oh my God. I remember when we were in middle school and someone said marination. Someone's like, it's like you're marinating in your own blood. And then I used that word, and in like other words, I said lots of things. I typed a huge thing on Ask FM about what it's like to have a period, and it was my most liked Ask FM post. I was an Ask FM big deal back in the day. So pads were absolute sensory hell. Just so much awful. I'm like, I wish I could just sit in a machine and they could just suck all this out of me, and it would take 4 hours, and then I could be done. Trying to do sports in a pad, I wanted to kill myself. I was like, one of these days I will try a tampon and it will change my life, because it'll be like I'm not even on my period, because it'll be like nothing's even happening. It'll be great. Holy fuck. What the fuck? Who as a 12, 13-year-old, it was the hardest thing I had ever had to do alone. I was this close to being like, mother, I'm going to have to ask you to come in and insert this tampon into my vagina for me, because this is clearly not how you do it. I had no idea how my down there worked at all. And then they're like, put this thing in it. And I'm like, am I angling it the right way? Definitely not. I was like, I think I might have put it in my butthole, to be honest. I didn't put it inside me and then push it. I just put the tip inside me, and it really hurt because I was a little girl and then had to push it in, and so it wasn't in enough, and it hurt so bad. And then taking it out, it was dry, hurt so bad. The day that I got my period though, so I figured out my underwear situation. I put on underwear, clean pad. I clean myself up. I come out to the living room. Dad's got soup, made soup, good. And I was so sad. So I'm like, now no one's gonna take me seriously. I already have such a hard time getting my parents to not gaslight me and to like believe me and take me seriously. And I'm like, no, now they're gonna really not take me seriously because they're gonna be like, oh, she's just on her period. And so I came out to my dad and I was like, please still take me seriously. Even if I'm on my period and I have emotions, please, like those emotions are justified and okay. It doesn't matter if I'm on my period, okay? Please don't do that. And he's like, okay, yeah. You know what? If that was the first thing that my daughter said to me after she got her period, I'd really contemplate who I was as a parent. At some point when I was 14-ish, I went like 6 months without a period and I wasn't sexually active. So I'm like, but I was vibing, right? Because I don't care. Didn't want it. So I'm like, however long she is at bay, I will hip hip hooray. Okay? Yay. Then I became very interested in a boy and I pursued this boy, one specific boy, for like a year. For a year until he was like, okay, we can date, that's fine. And then I was like, well, I got weird period stuff. I got a boyfriend. So maybe I should get on some birth control. Told my mom, went to the doctor, beep, bop, boop, beep. And I was 14 years of age. Jeez Louise. And they were like, here you go. Hormones. Y'all know what hormones do? They control everything that your body does. Fucking crazy wheezy, man. So I start on birth control and I'm on Lolo. Shout out Lolo. They're like, it's the lowest dose, Lolo. So you start here. And so Lolo, birth control, for those who are unfamiliar, doesn't do like 3 weeks of hormones and then 1 week of sugar pill. Nah, she did hormones, mostly hormones. And then the last 4 days were different. The fourth and third last day would be little white pills that were only one of the hormones. It was like half. Probably, I think it was like just progestin. Progestin is the man-made one, I think. And then 2 sugar pills. My doctor was like, you should get a period on those days. It should only last like it should be like a 3-4 day period, but you should. And I was like, swagged out girlfriend. 2 years went by and I didn't. And then 15, 16, I was really not doing good mentally and I started getting migraines and I started telling my doctor about these migraines and I'm like, girl, like what the fuck is this and how can I undo it? And he's like, you can't, get fucked. Migraines with aura, they call it, when you can like sense the migraine happening before it happens. So he's like, you can't have estrogen. Okay, why, what's the correlation of estrogen and the birth control pill and migraines with aura specifically? He said, strokes. Okay, say less. Understood. I don't want any of those. He's like, you could have a stroke. I'm like, gotcha, on it, boss. There are pills that don't have it in it, or you can do like an IUD. We can put a little thing in your arm that hangs out. We can give you a needle every 3 months. Which method of birth control would you like? The least invasive, if that's okay for me. The pill, please. Because you know me, I took that pill on time, motherfucker. Don't think I ever missed a dose of those pills. And I was on them for years. I was a perfect candidate for the birth control pill. I don't know what the second pill was called. What was it called? I don't know. There may be only one that's progestin only, so I don't know. It's that one. And I was on the pill until it was about late 2019. Had just dropped out of university and COVID was just about to happen, but no one knew yet. And I was really depressed. And so I was doing a lot of research too about the birth control pill. And I'm like, doc, I don't know, man. Like artificial hormones seem to not be it, bro. I don't really want this. He's like, so you want a baby. So you want literally a baby in your uterus right now. If you're not doing this, that's what you're telling me. Oh, no. I said, what about an IUD? Then I get the hormones like localized right there. They're not going to go into my bloodstream and affect my brain? ? He's like, perfect. Stunning. Yes. January 2020, I got the Kylena IUD. Holy fuck. They do not tell you that. To let everyone know what happens when you get an IUD inserted into you, you got to do the whole spread eagle while a gal is up in your cooch, right? And she's like, oh, just looking around. She's got to do the forceps. Could be a guy. Ooh, sorry for you. They open you up with forceps. You're already like, this doesn't feel okay. They've got these little pincers. It's like a little... little teeth, and it's like a and then they go inside ya. It's sharp, it's piercy. It takes a hold of your cervix at the end. Oh, your organ that you push a baby out of just got clamped on, pierced, so that it's not moving. Then, because they want your uterus to be straight, they pull on it. Then they insert an IUD in your uterus, which is not the way a uterus works. The uterus is like, what the fuck? And then the uterus starts contracting because it's like, get this foreign object out of here. Then for the next 24 hours, you feel like you are giving birth. You have the worst period pains of your life. They're worse. You know that they're not period pains. You know that they're not natural. You know exactly what caused them, and it is a piece of plastic inside of you right now that your body is actively fighting against. I had to poop, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna poop it out of me. I can't. If I push, it's gonna come out of me. I can't. I'm so scared. I don't think I pooped for 5 days. That's so fucked up that we do that to people. They don't give you any numbing. Take an Advil when you get home. I will. I don't know. I think that's absolutely barbaric. When men's balls they're literally right there. They've come up with this new birth control. Oh, guys, please do it. Anyone with sperm, do it. All it is, it's a needle into a tube that comes from your balls to your penis. That is where like your semen comes from. It's an injection, and it like physically and chemically blocks the sperm. It lasts like 3 to 4 years. A needle that does a physical and chemical thing in a located area, and like inside a tube, inside a ball that's right there. They even like can put you out for it, which is bullshit. The amount of times in my life I said I wish I were a dude strictly for the sole purpose of how fucking easy it is. Oh, why can't I be the dad? After having that IUD too, I was like, there's no fucking way I am birthing a kid. That was so painful. With my sensory issues, having a child first, and then having it as you're in so much pain. Oh my God. I cannot birth a human person, because I think then after I would be at a very high risk of harming myself and that baby. Oh my God. I couldn't imagine. Oh, I just couldn't imagine. I just don't want it. I've never wanted to since I was little. And I'm like, oh man, that's scary, but I hope that one day when I'm old, I'll want to. And now I'm like old, but I've always wanted kids. I'm like, yeah, nah, still can't. Still no way that I'm producing one though. Anyway, IUD until May of this year. June? It was July. What is today? It was recently, July. I don't know. I took my IUD. I didn't take it out. I went and got a consultation with a new gal because my old gal died. Rest in peace, Dr. Badia. My new gal, I come in and I'm like, yo, home girl, what is up? I hate this. Take my IUD out. Fuck this. I don't want to be on birth control anymore. I've not been a hormonally functional person kind of like ever, to be honest. My hormones when I was 12, they were just figuring their shit out, and I was fucked. I was miserable when I was 12. I was undiagnosed autistic and getting into the hardest parts of life for me. My body was not okay. I just want to have hormones. I just want my body to work, and I don't want to fight against my body anymore. Especially now. I'm 23. I got my idea. I think I was 22, almost 23, I think. But I've also been really conscious about a lot of things and about my body and trying to help it be the best it can be. I track the moon. I love looking at the moon and the moon phases and where the moon is. And just judging by my energy levels, my sex drive, my acne, I would like place, wherever the moon was, wherever I thought I was ovulating and where I thought that I would be having a period, because I'm like, maybe it works like this. But it doesn't work like that really for real when you're taking birth control, when you're having the same amount of hormone every day, because men have the same amount of hormone every day. And that's the way that everything is set up. Women, people that have uteri, people that have a uterus and have like natural uterus hormones have a monthly cycle. We know this. And the monthly cycle dictates so much about a woman's body. There are so many other methods of birth control, and if a penis is coming near me, it needs to be figured out. I have been clamped and shoved inside, and then my uterus thought I was having a baby. You can get one needle in your nut when they knock you out. Or I say to people too, like, get your tubes tied. They're reversible. Well, sometimes they're not. Well, maybe that was meant to be, Trevor, because who wants your sperm? This world said not happening. Sorry, was that insensitive? Sorry. No, medical, like, that's very sad. If that happens to you and that's what you want, that's very sad. I also think it's like super fucking worth it. So easy, just like go get a vasectomy. Jesus Christ. So I think it would be like 2 weeks ago now, I got a period because it was 2 months after my IUD was out. I was like, oh. I was ready for months before this period approached. I knew what was happening. I knew what I'd signed myself up for, and I was ready. So I thought. I bought a bunch of pads. Then I realized I do not want that at all. I don't want anything plastic near me. Like anything that... I don't want it. I had received a few period underwear from Victoria's Secret Pink over a year ago. I'm going to use the shit out of those. Turns out there were only 2, and so I'm like, I'm gonna need some more pairs. The day I got my period, my uterus was kind of hurting, and I was like, oh my, this kind of feels like a uterus cramp. And I got kind of excited because it was my first period in a decade, and I was like, oh. And I kept like, going to the bathroom and check in. I'm like, it's coming. I started out with a panty liner because I just wanted to see, was it gonna be a lot? I don't know, could be nothing. After I stood up and felt a gush, I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom and realized that gush had ruined my pants. So going to bed, I wore period underwear, and then I wore an overnight pad. And I'm like, that's gonna be fine. That's gonna be so fine. Woke up, I knew there was a problem because when I stood up and got outside the door, Macy, my German Shepherd, went straight for my crotch, and I'm like, get away from me. And she was going to my butt. She's like, something's clearly off, Mom. And I'm like, don't tell me. And when I went to the bathroom, I turned on the light, whole left side covered in blood. The pad had, just completely shifted, not on my vagina, and so I just like bled all down my left side, and so there was blood on everything, every fabric on my bed, and I was not having a good time because I had shit to do that morning. And when I wake up in the morning, I wake up an hour and 15 minutes before I have to leave and go do my thing, because that's the amount of time that I need to do all of my shit. And now I'm like, oh my god, my day's fucked. Everything's fucked. If y'all saw my Instagram stories that day, I was not having a good time. I had to go get blood taken that day. Oh my god. When I was there, I remembered how much I hate getting my blood taken, and then started freaking out a lot more. It was just so not fun. Day 2, I bled. Okay, mama, like, I understand you decorated your kid's room this month. I ordered a bunch more period underwear off Amazon because I decided that those were the OGs, because you just put them on and then you just, put on anything else and just vibe. A few hours later, go to the bathroom, give her a rinsey-roo, and then you put them in the dishwasher. Almost said. I gotta get waterproof stuff for my bed or something, but I don't think I'll like sleeping on it, or like the texture, the feel, the vibe, the sound. I haven't had another period since then, but it should be coming up, I think, in about a week. I don't know what I'm gonna do in regard to the bedtime situation. I think just like do better. Periods are sensory fucking hell. I will admit, it was a lot harder when I was a kid. And that's just because I think everything's a lot harder when you're a kid. Or everything was a lot harder for me when I was a kid. My periods also were shorter, but it was only 5 days. So after day 2, day 3 was like, nah. And I'm like, okay. But then, you gotta like still wear stuff for the next few days. I wonder if I will be regular. So strangely, I estimated or figured, like, I think that I ovulate on a full moon and that I like get my period on a new moon. And yeah, I got my period on the new moon. I'm really excited about it. I feel okay about it. I am really into being my natural self and letting my natural self live and exist. I love nature. I love patterns and shit like that, and I love classifications and whatever. Right now it's all one big science project to me. Probably in like 6 months I'm gonna be like, this shit fucking sucks. I was not happy nor impressed when I went to my new gynos though. I think they have to do this, like it must be protocol or something, but she's like, you want no birth control. I'm like, yep, take this bitch out of me. You don't want another one back in. Nope, no thank you. You don't want to get the shot, or you can do the thing in your arm that stays, which sounds like the worst thing ever. No, I don't want that. So are you trying to get pregnant? I'm like, no. She's like, do you understand that your risk of going pregnant? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Are people seriously this dumb? So what are you gonna do? I'm like, so I don't think it's any of your fucking business. You don't even know if I'm gonna be having sex. You don't even know if I am, if it's gonna be with men. You don't need to know what I'm doing in the bedroom to prevent pregnancy. I just met you, lady. I know you're gonna get all up in my cooter. I would definitely say period underwear over anything else. Everything else is awful and feels disgusting, and it's hard to move and it's weird to move and it makes everything worse. Changing as often as possible, keeping everything as like clean as possible is good. I'm excited to see what this next period is gonna be like. I hope that they stay at like 5 days. Ideally, I'll be regular at some point and it'll be way easier to deal with. If you made it here this far, then I really hope that you're subscribed to my channel, because that would be really cool and would make a lot of sense. Also, give this video a like if you are into that. Before you leave though, don't forget to yell at me in the comments. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has pre-ordered my book. Pre-orders are really important. They dictate how many books are going to be made and like how many of the book are going to be sent out to be offered to be sold. So if you're thinking about buying my book and you can afford to, pre-ordering it would actually help me out. So links down below in the description to pre-order. But everyone feels this way. How an autism diagnosis saved my life. Making notes. Making lots of notes. Guys, I wish you well. All right, bye guys. This is the end of the video song. This video is to tell you the video's done. If you're hearing this, it's because the video's done. Go watch another one. Boop boop. Have a good day. Love you so much. Bye.